Om. Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gananaam Tva Ganapatikam Havamahi Kavim Kavinamupamashravasam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrinvannotipisita Sadhanam. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Saraswati Namastupyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते. Last time we were looking into Avasthatrayam Kim. What is Avasthatraya? So it was defined as it is the Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti. We are always fluctuating in between three states. Those three states are waking state, dream state and the deep sleep state. So we are shunting as if from one state to the other. So then the definition of Jagrat Avastha was given. What is Jagrat Avastha? Can anybody tell me? What is Jagrat Avastha? Let us first revise this too, because we've already seen Jagrat Avastha and Swapna Avastha. Who will tell me what is Jagrat Avastha? Come on, be fast. What is Jagrat Avastha?
स्टुटादि विषय जैसे ज्ञानेंद्रिय.
What is it? क्या होता है इसमें?
इसमें जो ज्ञान होते हैं
किस चीज का?
पूरा ये का
जो अभी आपने बताया, श्रोत्रादि ज्ञानेन्द्रिय ही शब्दादि विषय ही
आदि. हाँ, शब्द आदि विषय का.
शब्द आदि विषय का ज्ञान होता है. किससे ज्ञान होता है? श्रोत्रादि ज्ञानेन्द्रिय ही. हमारा जो सारे ज्ञानेन्द्रिय है उससे हमको विषयों के बारे में पता चलता है. तो दोनों की जरूरत है. वी नीड बोथ ऑफ देम. If either of them is not present, it is absent, then it is not called Jagrat Avastha. In Jagrat Avastha, the Jnanendriya has to be fully active. All the Gyanendriya sense organs of perception, they have to be fully active. And what will they see if there are no objects outside? So Vishay also has to be there. So when there is a combination of these two, I mean the sense organs of perception are perceiving the objects outside, it is called Jagrata Avastha. Gyayate. So Gyan is taking place, as you said, Abhama. Gyan is taking place there. So what is the name of the Abhimani of this state? Next line. What is the name of that Abhimani? And why is it called that?
Vishwa.
Vishwa. And why is it called Vishwa?
While perceiving the objects, we see everything is what is there in Vishwa. So Jagat ke sabhi hum dekh.
Good. So it is as if a window through which we see the whole world outside. That is why it is called Vishwa. Good. So Sthula Sharira Abhimani. Is it something different than the Atma? This Vishwa that we are naming, my question is it different than the Atma? Think and tell me.
Amma, can you please repeat the question again?
My question is, Sthula Sharira Abhimani, which we are calling Vishwa, it has a name called Vishwa. Is it different than Atma?
It is the same.
It is the
Other
same
name of
why is it called this then? Why we can't call it Atma if it is same?
So Atma is same, but it is named as Vishwa, as it is Abhimani of Sthula Sharira.
Yes. When yes, you are right. When it is related to that state, when it is related to that gross body, that same Atma has been given the name. Ityuchyate. Uchyate means it is called like that. It hasn't become anything. So that same Atma is being called as Vishwa when it is related to this waking state and it is related to this gross body. So it is not like there are many Atmas or the Atma changes itself, or the Atma, there are various Atmas at different levels of these avasthas. It's not like that. Okay, same Atma is being called as Vishwa here because it's an opening to the world. And one more thing, why is it called Vishwa? One more thing is there. Why is it called Vishwa? It brings in the whole world. This is one point. And another point is, I had given 2 points. Why it is called Vishwa? Does anybody remember? No, I don't remember. Anybody from morning class? Nobody remembers?
जागृत अवस्था में विश्व का साथ संपर्क करते हैं.
हाँ, Seema ji told the same thing. Another point I had given. संपर्क करते हैं और वो पूरा का पूरा विश्व जो है हमारे पास में आ जाता है. This is one point. There was another point. Why we call it Vishwa? Yes, related to that Purushartha. Good. It is the same thing. What is it? Related to it? Completeness. The completeness. Completeness, what we get in this state is not got in the two other states, because the whole sense organs of perception and action are available in this state fully, through which we can do all the Purushartha, but we cannot do the Purushartha in dream state. We cannot say that I have already done my puja and jap in the dream state, because our mind is not fully available unless we are in a state in that state where we are very, very, I mean, in some other level, then the thing will be different, that we have completed everything in our dreams. But in general, what we see, that the sense organs are not available during the dream state, and that is why here in this, it is the sense organs are completely available. Due to its completeness also, it is called visual. Remember these 2 points. Okay, so we can get moksha, we can get the highest thing that can be available to this body through waking state only. Whatever good actions can be done through this state only. So this state is very, very important. Okay. Now we came to Sushupti. What is Sushupti? No. Swapnavastha, sorry. What is Swapnavastha?
Dream state.
Yes, dream state. How do you know? What do we do in dream state? How do you define that? Swapnavastha ka iti. What is it? What do we do in dream state? What does the mind do in dream state? Is it completely available? What does it do? It's very easy.
Jagrita avastha में
Disorganized
क्या-
thought.
Huh?
Disorganized thought.
Yes, disorganized thought. Good. Seema ji?
Yes, जागृत अवस्था में जो हम देखते हैं, सुनते हैं, उसका इम्प्रेशंस हम लेके जाते हैं, तो
Very
उसी
good.
को हम स्वप्नावस्था में देखते हैं.
Very good. Very good.
Amma, we can
Gita?
say it is a subconscious, like subconscious mind acting during स्वप्नावस्था. सारे चीजें जो हम लोग impressions जब
Yes.
जागृत अवस्था में लेते हैं, उसका ही same impressions हमारे सपनों में आता है.
Yes. Good. गीता माँ, आप कुछ दूसरा बोल रही थी? Same? अच्छा. ठीक है. So you all are right. So whatever impressions are taken during the waking state, the mind is not fully available. So it projects, and that is why we get all weird dreams. Because the mind is not fully available, so the intellect is fully gone. The mind that has taken the impressions from the waking state, that projects as dream world, everything in the dream is a projection of that mind. Okay, so what does it do in this state, in the swapnavastha? That is jagrat avasthayam yad drishtam yad shrutam tad janitam. Yad drishtam yad shrutam. Whatever is seen, whatever has been heard, the vasanas are formed, the impressions are taken. And because, why is it disorganized, as Meenakshi ji said? Because the intellect is not available. Because the intellect is not available fully, that is why we cannot say that it was a disciplined dream. Anything, all weird things, all haphazard things we see, we combine some things here and there and we then project it. So that is why we should not give so much of importance. Many people give a lot of importance, especially when there's a bad dream, then they get agitated or they get very worried that I don't know what is going to happen. Don't give so much of importance. So what was the Nidra Samay Prapancha Pratiyati? Sa Swapnavastha. What was the meaning of Prapancha here? What is Prapancha? Fast. What is Prapancha?
Whatever is shown is not real.
Yes. Prapancha means what the whole world that is being shown there, that is being projected there. Pancha means 5 elements. Prapancha means Visheshana. It is giving us It is creating something, it is projecting something. So in that way, what is it called? It is prapancha. Prapancha means a varied arena is in front of your eyes, and you can see all those projections in front of you. What have been taken in the waking state sometime. It may be this birth, it may be past births, it may be for 20 years back. You never know when those impressions have been taken by you. And there we also saw that the lion is also called Panchanan. So expansion, actually it means expansion. Expansion of those impressions only are done in that state. What is the name of the Abhimani of this state? Next line. What is the name?
Tejas.
Tejas. Yes, Tejas. So it is called Tejas. Now, is this different from, how is it, if it is different from the Vishwa, how is it different? And if it is not, why is it not? Yes, it is Phala Pradhan. What is Phala Pradhan? Dream state is Phala Pradhan. Why is it Phala Pradhan? Why is it Phala Pradhan? Come on, fast. Otherwise, we'll get stuck up here only. Why is it Phala Pradhan? It's very simple. Bliss and sorrow are absent in dream state. How can you say that? If a lion is behind me, how can you say that I won't be having sorrow? My God, at that time I'll be all sweaty and fearful. It is there. Because it is there, that is why it is Phala Pradhan. You cannot control, you cannot have full control over your dream. Whatever is being shown to you, you have to see, you have to undergo. Whether that lion is chasing you, you have to run. There's no option, you can't stand there. Sometimes you fall from the cliff, mountains. Sometimes something happens, some weird things happen. So that is Phala Pradhan. Some prarabdha has been picked up from the past, and that the fruit of that is being given in the dream. That is why it is Phala Pradhan. But what was my question? My question was not this. My question was something different. My question was, how is Tejas different from Vishwa? And why?
इस
Yes, Seema ji.
इस स्टेट में मोक्ष नहीं पा सकते हम, जैसे हम
मोक्ष नहीं पा सकते हैं, ठीक है. But what is it? I mean, Tejas, how is it different from Vishwa?
Completely subtle body का साथ संपर्क होते हैं.
Subtle body के साथ, okay. Subtle body के साथ हम
क्रॉस बॉडी का तो विश्व होते हैं और इसके साथ तेजस.
फाइन, ठीक है.
डुअरशिप का कांसेप्ट है, मतलब विश्व में डुअरशिप है. मैं अपना पंचेंद्रियों से काम कर रहा हूँ, फिजिकली आई एम डूइंग द वर्क, बट तेजस में ऐसा नहीं है. एक्चुअली मैं डुअरशिप नहीं कर रहा हूँ, फील ऐसा हो रहा है कि मैं
that time full doership is there. Don't come out and see. Don't come out. Be in that dream. When you are in that dream, you're fully aware that you're doing that. You're running. You're doing business. Whatever you're doing in the dream, whatever actions are going on, you have the doership completely. If you're not running, you'll be forced to run. Somebody will say from inside, so will push you to run. Forcefully, you have to run.
पर हमारे पास हमारा चॉइस नहीं है, लेकिन विश्व में चॉइस है.
We don't have any choice. That is why it is Phala Pradhan. So the difference is that why is it called Tejas? Because it is at that time completely related to the subtle body, and subtle body is also subtle body. The mind is partially available. Intellect is fully gone. The pranamaya kosha is working. We haven't gone to koshas yet. The pranamaya kosha is working. So it is not fully available, that mind also. Because mind stuff has got four things we know. Man, buddhi, chitta, hankar. So amongst that, intellect is gone, mind is also partially available. And that is why the impressions that are carried from the waking state that are being projected. The gross body, at that time, where is the Vishwa? When the Tejas is present, the Sukshma Sharirabhimani, that is present, where is the Vishwa born?
It is inactive, Amma, because we are in dream. So our body is not
It is not there because what is the definition of Vishwa? Vishwa is the Sthul Sharirabhimani. So are we at that time when we are into the dream, are we attached to the gross body? The question is this. We are not at all identified to that gross body. We don't know, we are not aware of that gross body at all. And that is why that Vishwa is absent. It's not there. But the Atma is there. Remember that Atma only is being called by different names. That is why everywhere it is called that same Atma is now become Tejas, which was Vishwa there. Only with relation to something, the name of that Atma is being changed. It's not that there are so many Atmas. When it is attached to the gross body, its name has been given Vishwa. When it is with the subtle body, its name has become Tejas. Yes, Sinaji wanted to ask something.
Yeah, but when we are in स्वप्न अवस्था, तो वहाँ भी खुद को ही मानते हैं. जो स्वप्न देखते हैं, that is related to me.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how come we are not attached to the stool body? Because शरीर का जो भी हुआ है, suppose मेरा खुद का कुछ ऑपरेशन हुआ, उसी को हम देखेंगे, तो मैं जानती हूँ कि मैं हूँ.
मैं जानती हूँ मैं हूँ, but मैं नहीं जानती हूँ कि मैं वो gross body हूँ. The impressions of that gross body are there, but that gross body in fact is not there. I mean, identification to that gross body is not there. Identification to the impressions are there, because our experiences also say that at that time, if the mosquito bites or one cockroach will pass over your body or the blanket falls off your body, you are not aware. That gross body is not at all present. You are not identified, even though it is present, even though you are there in that gross body, but still that identification matters. That identification at that time is to your subtle body, where the impressions are there, where the thoughts are there. There, that identification has shifted. It is very mechanical. It is very typical state, and the fluctuations also. These fluctuations are also very typical in nature. So though the gross body is seen that we are with the gross body, actually the identification is broken. And that is why it is said that even when we are still in this body, we are traveling from one state to the other. We leave this body and go. At that time, when we are in Tejas, when we have become Tejas, meaning what? When we are the dreamer at that time, the identification to the gross body is not there completely. That means I am not the gross body. I can live without the gross body also. My entity is there intact fully. This is what is being told here, that when we are so much identified with the waking state, we are so much identified with the gross body, but at a time in this body only, staying in this body only, we leave this body and go to some other state. Then how can we say that we are this body? When we close, you are right, Simaji, whenever we close our eyes, and when somebody says Ananya, Ananya, I only call myself Ananya, Ananya. the shape of this body will come. I'm so much attached to the shape of this body, to everything of this body. And that is why those impressions have been taken. Those impressions are lying where? They are lying in the subtle body. They are lying in the causal body. Those impressions. And from there, we are taking up those impressions. From there, the subtle body, the mind takes those impressions and it projects. So when we see these three bodies, the Vishwa, the Vishwa is different, the Tejas is different. Tejas can be without this gross body, Vishwa. Tejas, listen to me properly. The Tejas can be without the Vishwa. Vishwa cannot be without Tejas. Vishwa, whenever Vishwa is there, and that time Pragya and the Tejas have to be there. But when we are going deep inside, when we are going to the subtler bodies, at that time the gross one drops automatically. Because Vishwa is grosser. Vishwa relates to the gross world, to the gross body, to the gross impressions, everything gross. So whenever we are traveling inside, whenever inside, outside, I'm just giving you to make you understand. It's not actually inside. When we are traveling inside to that Tejas, when we are getting identified to that Tejas body, to that subtle body, we have left the identification with the gross body. That means that Vishwa is gone. But the Pragya, the inner body, I mean the causal body Abhimani is there. We'll come to that today. I hope till here it is clear. Anybody has got any doubt till here? Simaji,
Amma,
is it clear? Yes.
there is one single doubt.
Yeah.
Before that, I just wanted to clarify one thing, that the Vishwa and the Tejas. So can we say like this? If I'm in a dreaming state, I'm
Huh?
sleeping.
Say again. Say again.
If I am in a dream state, if
Yeah.
I'm in a dream state, and suddenly I wake up, and there are some people, even me, we do that. I just, after waking up, I just pinch myself. Am I actually dreaming, or am I real? So like pinch myself. If I pinch myself and it is paining, that means yeah, I am real. It's real. It's not a dream. So is that because of this phenomena
Yes,
itself?
you can say, you can relate all this because whenever we are dreaming, actually we are not identified to the body, gross body. Our identification to the gross body is gone. We have completely drifted in some other state. So we are not in this body at that time, completely disidentified to the gross body. So that is why maybe when something good happens, then at that time we pinch and see whether we are really in the waking state or not.
And
Okay, so,
the second question was that if during the Tejas state, uh, the self leaves the Vishwa state, right? Am I correct?
hmm.
So at that time, does it mean that the impression of the subtle body is gone, or the entire subtle body can be left?
No, subtle body is not left. Gross is left. Subtle body is fully there. Otherwise, how is the mind is projecting? The subtle
Mhm.
body cannot go. Identification with the gross body is gone. So
So
Vishwa is gone. Huh.
please continue.
Vishwa is gone, but not the Tejas. Tejas is there, and with the Tejas also Pragya will be also there. We'll come to Pragya just now. So the subtler bodies are there. The gross one is gone. So when we go into deep sleep again, at that time, this Tejas also goes away.
Okay.
When we go into again, we drift into deeper. This thing, I mean, the Pragya, deeper state, the causal body, and that time, the dream identifier, the dream Abhimani, that has gone again. Gross body Abhimani is also gone. So the prior one goes away. The posterior one stays because it's subtle.
Amma,
Yeah.
if we try to like try out the state, the location of that like Tejas or Vishwa. Like in Vishwa, the Abhimani is we can see because we this is the body which is real. But in case of Tejas also, the mind which is abstract. However, the brain is there. So should we say that the Tejas is inside the brain or Tejas is inside the mind? And if it is inside the mind, then how it is different from the brain?
Brain is a part of gross body. Brain is the headquarter. Brain cannot be, brain is not mind because brain gets burnt when cremated. The mind is a part of subtle body, Sukshma Sharir. The components, when we see the components of Sukshma Sharir, what are the components of Sukshma Sharir? Tell me.
I forgot.
If you are forgetting, that's why this question arose. Tell me, others help him. What are the components of Sukshma Sharir?
17 components,
17 components, right?
5 Gyanendriya,
5 Gyanendriya,
5 Kamendriya,
5 Karmendriya,
Pancha Prana,
Pancha Prana,
और मन बुद्धि.
Man Buddhi. Right? So Supratim, all these 17. So what are those? All the sense organs of action and perception, 10. Then 5 pranas, 15. And Man Buddhi. That also includes Chitta and Ahankar. So all these 17 components, they constitute the subtle body. So mind and mind has to be there in dream state. He's busy. Okay. So fine.
Got it, Amma.
Okay, fine. Anybody else has any question? Otherwise, we'll move forward to deep sleep state. I won't let you sleep, but we will know what is that state. Okay, we'll read that paragraph. अथ सुषुप्त्यवस्था का अहम किमपि न जानामि सुखेन मया निद्रानुभूयत इति सुषुप्ति अवस्था कारण शरीराभिमानी आत्मा प्राज्ञ इत्युच्यते. Okay, we'll see this statement. So now, can what is the experience in Sushupti Avastha? The experience in Sushupti Avastha is that I don't know anything. Aham kimapi na janami. Aham kimapi na janami. It is said that I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Little also, a bit also, a wee bit, nothing. I don't know nothing. Why I don't know? Because in deep sleep, those two bodies are covered fully. Aham kimapi na janami. Sukhena maya nidranubhuyate iti. I am completely immersed in bliss. Sukhena maya nidranubhuyate. Why? Because the two bodies are not there. The experiences of the two bodies, the subtle and the gross body, is not there at all. And what is the cause of this deep sleep? Anadi avidya pritti pravaha. The avidya, anadi avidya, the beginningless ignorance, that flow of thought of ignorance is there. What is it called? That is called abhavakar vritti. Now be very, very careful. What is that? That is called abhavakar vritti. One vritti, a typical vritti is there, one vritti whose object is absence. See, every vritti has got an object. When I am thinking, vritti means what? A thought. In simple terms, vritti means a thought. So a thought cannot be without an object. Whatever we are thinking, that has to have an object. I'm thinking about something. You'll ask me, Amma, what are you thinking? So I'll say that I'm thinking about my watch. About your watch? Yes. So watch is the object. I'm thinking about my book. So the book is the object. I'm thinking about that flower. So the flower is the object. So any vritti, any thought has to have an object. So what is this object there at the time of deep sleep? That is called abhavakar vritti. Abhavakar vritti means the thought that has absence as the object. It is a typical vritti which has got absence. It is not shunya, okay? It is abhav of everything. There is nothing, nothing, nothing. One vritti is there whose object is absence. And this thought continues. This thought merges, this thought emerges and merges, emerges and merges. Continuously, one thought, abhavakar vritti, is flowing. And that is why till that abhavakar vritti is there, till that time, I completely go into deep sleep and I know nothing. And that is why Sukhena Maya Nidra Nubhuyate iti Sushupti Avastha. The thinker is subdued. He forgets himself for some time. It's not there at that time. This self-forgetfulness is a point in deep sleep. Okay. So I don't know myself. I don't know the world. I don't know anything. No problem, nothing. And that is why I am immersed in complete bliss. Sukhena Maya Nidra Nubhyate. This is not available to anything. And that is why he's also not claiming at that time that I don't know anything. This I don't know anything. He comes out of that deep sleep state and then he claims that I didn't know anything. At that time, he does not know that he does not know. At that time, he's completely, that thought has been engulfed by this thought of absence. This abhavakar vritti has engulfed you completely at that time. So he does not know that he does not know. But when he comes out of that state, when he comes out of that deep sleep state, at that time he says that, yes, I did not know anything. He can claim that. Aham kimapi na janami. So when he gets up, then he claims that I didn't know anything. Okay, so but what is the praman? What is the praman? Be very, very careful now. What is the praman of that I was sleeping? Morning class people, what is the praman that I slept nicely?
And I feel very fresh after a deep sleep.
Yes, yes, you are right. But I want that exact word.
Is it bliss?
No, so Pratham, you won't know. I've told them many times. Morning class.
Pragya.
So many times you all know. You have heard.
Pratyabhigya.
Abhavakar
Yes.
vritti.
Yes. Pratyabhigya. Good. Pratyabhigya. So today we will see what is Pratyabhigya. The Pratyabhigya is the praman through which we come to know that I slept nicely when I get up. So what is Pratyabhigya? In one sentence, Pratyabhigya means that the experiencer and the rememberer should be the same. The experiencer and the rememberer should be the same. This is called Pratyabhigya. So if I give you an example, what happens that I met somebody on the airport. Okay, this is a common example. I met somebody at the airport and he came to me and he said, "Oh, I think I know you. Yes, this person." I was trying to make out who is that person. Then I asked him, "Who are you? I didn't get you. Who are you? I don't remember you. Have I seen you?" He said, "Are, you don't remember me. I am Ramesh. I am your classmate. When we were small, when we were in class 5, from class 5 to till class 10, we were together, we studied together." I said, "Oh, yeah, I remember you now. You were that mischievous one." He said, "Yes, yes, yes. But now you have changed so much. You have become so quiet." Yes, at that time, you had so much of hair, long hairs used to have. Now you're bald completely. He said, yes, yes, yes. And then at that time, you used to wear golden chain around your neck. Now that golden chain has been replaced by Rudrakshimala. Oh yeah, you remember all those things. Yes, yes, I remember. I remember how, yeah, how funky and how you used to look at that time. But now you've changed completely. The way you are talking has also changed. But there is something. So I remember him. I try to take out all the things that I have seen now, whatever the person is now, and I took out all those things that I had seen when I was small. That also. Then when I see both of them, I find yes, they are the same person. This is called what? The experience that I am the same person who had experienced him when he was small, and I am experiencing him right now. So the experiencer and the rememberer should be the same. I am remembering that past when we were small, when we were in the same class and we were studying. Yes, you used to get a lot of punishment. I remember. Yes, the teachers used to scold you. One time you were made to stand on the bench also in the last bench. You were standing there till the end. I remember. What is that? The experiencer and the rememberer. I am the person who has experienced all those things. And that is why I am remembering. I can remember, oh yes, Ramesh, it is you. You are the one. So I am the one who should be the experiencer also because I am remembering. This is the crux. Pratyabhigya means the rememberer and the experiencer. They have to be the same. I cannot, if I did not have the experience of Ramesh when he was small, when he was my classmate, I couldn't have remembered him at present also. Because I had that experience and because I am the one who is remembering, that means those two personalities have to be the same. Now put this pratyabhigya into the deep sleep state. When I am experiencing, but I don't remember at that time that I am sleeping because of that abhavakar vritti has completely engulfed me, engulfed my mind, engulfed my thoughts. So at that time, my thoughts are not available. They're not free to think. They're completely lost. But when I get up, I am the one who is saying that yes, I was sleeping nicely. Like Simaji said, I feel fresh. So I feel fresh means what? I know that I was sleeping. I am the one who's experienced. So I am the one who's remembering also. So these two entities are not separate, they have to be one. This is called Pratyabhigya Praman. In Dakshinamurti Stotra, this word is there. Your Pratyabhigyayate. So this is called Pratyabhigya. Through what Praman do we know that in the deep sleep, I was only there? It is through Pratyabhigya only. Because what is it? The experiencer and the rememberer should be the same. They cannot be different. I am remembering Ramesh. That means what? I was the one who experienced it. Because I'm remembering him now, right now. When he's talking to me, I am going into the past and remembering, oh yes, he had a lot of hair on his head. Now he's not having. But I'm remembering what through my personal experience of the past, I'm remembering his personality of the past. That means what? The experiencer who is sitting inside me is the same one as the rememberer. So both of them have to be the same. Okay. So perception plus memory. Whenever we are seeing something plus memory, that is called recognition. What is it? Recognition means we are perceiving plus we have a memory also. That is called recognition. This is called pratyabhigya here. If there was somebody else Then I sometimes it happens the other way around also. It happened in Durban one time that some person came and he prostrated to Swamiji, and then Swamiji started talking to him, and Swamiji was talking to him as if he was somebody else. Swamiji remembered him as some other person. He was talking, and later on, he went away. After he went away, then he asked other people that this is the same person, isn't it? Other people said, no, Swamiji, this is not that person. He's somebody else. And Swamiji was talking to him as if he was some other person. This also happens. We are remembering somebody else and we are putting those memories on someone else. Then that is not Pratyabhigya. They have to be the same. So there are issues in between. So they both have to, when the experiencer and the remember, they are the same at that time. It is called Pratyabhigya. Okay, so Karan, then Sukhena Maya Nidranubhuyate iti Sushupti Avastha. So at that time, the person is not there, he's not available. He won't say that I am experiencing that complete bliss. But later on, when he gets up, that same person will say that yes, I was the experiencer at that time because I am the rememberer. So these two cannot be different. So I slept well. Karan Sharirabhimani Atma Pragyet Uchyate. So this again, this Karan Sharirabhimani, at that time, that causal body. Can anybody tell me the definition of causal body without saying? All those 4 points. I think there were 4 points. Even if you remember one, what is causal body? Because here now again we need that. Because the Pragya is the one who is identified to that causal body, to the Karan Sharir. What is Karan Sharir? No cheating.
Causal body is the Karan of subtle body and the gross body.
Okay, one reason Meenakshi has given, one characteristic. Sharira Dvaya Karana Matram. Shubhashish, cheating. Cheating. No cheating. Karan Sharir, definition. You can say in Hindi also, in English also, whatever. Not that it should be in Sanskrit.
Amma, it is Nirgun and there is presence of avidya.
Okay, presence of avidya, anadi avidya. Good. Anadi avidya, Sharira Dvaya Karanam. Two are given. What else? You cannot forget like that. Otherwise, we cannot move ahead. Two things have been given. What are the other two?
It is the Karan of Suksham and Sthul.
Yes, that has been told by Meenakshi ji. Sharira Dvaya Karana Matram. It is Karan of both the Sharir. Anadi Avidya, that has also been told. What else? Past. Cannot forget like this. Okay, I'm giving you a clue. Is it there?
Yes, Amma, it is there, but we don't know it is there.
Yeah, what is that word called? It is there but not there. Anirvachya. Anirvachaniya. Anirvach. So first word was Anirvachya. Anadi Avidya. Rupa. Shariradvaya Karana Matram. 3. Then the last one. If If you forget like this, how will it happen? Should not forget like this. We cannot move ahead otherwise. Last one.
It moves to the next body.
It goes to the next body. Yes, but what is it for? Why does it go to the next body? Because we are not aware of our own self. We are not aware of about the swarup of our own self. Sat swarupa, sat sat swarup. We don't know our swarup. At that time, when we are identified to that body, at that time, we are not aware of our Sat Swarupa Jnanam. So at that time, when we are identified to the causal body, we are identified to that ignorance so much that we are not knowing our own self. So Anirvachyam, Anadi Avidya Rupam, Shariradvaya Karanam, Sat Swarupa Ajnanam. These were the things. And yes, one more thing was Nirvikalpakam. At that time, this Nirvikalpakam, this will help here when we are defining Pragya. Why Nirvikalpakam? What is the meaning of Nirvikalpakam? Tell me.
Not comprehensible.
No, tell me the exact meaning. What happens when we are thinking?
Triputini.
Thoughtless.
Thoughtless means what?
यहाँ पे त्रिपुटी नहीं है.
Triputi is missing. The trio of thinker, thought, and knowledge. These things, ज्ञान, ज्ञेय, और क्या होता है? ज्ञान, ज्ञेय,
Gyata.
ज्ञाता. These three are absent. They are overwhelmed. This triputi is absent. Jnata, Gye, Jnana are absent. Why? Because of that abhavakar vritti. So nirvikalpakam. That is why it was said in the definition of Karan Sharira. Don't forget that. The Karan Sharira was nirvikalpakam. At that time, there are no thoughts there. This abhavakar vritti has completely engulfed me. This one vritti is so powerful that all the other vrittis are gone at that time. We're not aware of any other vritti. That is why Sukhena Maya Nidranu Bhuyate. I'm sleeping joyfully. I don't know anything. I don't want to know also anything. It is irresistible at that time. One homogeneous thought is emerging and merging. That abhavakar vritti, thought of absence. And ignorance is so close to us at that time. We are very, very close to that ignorance. And that is why that ignorance completely engulfed our mind. There is no thought other than that ignorance. Imagine what is ignorance and how much we enjoy that state. And that is why he does not say that I'm enjoying at that time, because there is no thought to say. Who will say? That is why when he comes out, then he says through Pratyavigya that yes, I enjoy. There is no, in Bradaranyak it is said, Tatra Mata Bhavati, Apita Bhavati. There is no relation at that time, nothing. You know, nothing, no relation, no money, no house, no gross body. Even the Tejas is not there at that time. When you are in Pragya, the Tejas, I mean, the subtle body is also not there. Only the Pran, and through, I mean, in the subtle body, only the Pran is working. Pancha Pranas. And in the Pancha Pranas also, the Prana, Prana Shakti, Prana, Panya, Anudan, Saman, amongst that, Pran is working. Udan, Saman are also working, but these 5 pranas, except these 5 pranas, the subtle body is completely gone. It is lean, it is merged.
Amma, in coma stage also the same thing happens?
In coma it is different a bit. In coma it is different a bit. It is not exactly deep sleep. Okay. So deep sleep tells us that any person can leave you, leave you at any time. So don't get attached to it. So if somebody tells you, I love you so much, I cannot be without you. These are all flowery languages. Why? Because he goes to sleep. So interesting. You can have a lot of detachment through these states. Because he goes to sleep, he won't say when he is very sleepy, say, no, you said that you love me a lot, you cannot stay without me. But now you're going to sleep. At that time, you leave everything. You don't remember me also. And somebody says, I remember you all the time. I miss you so much. When we are sleeping, there's no thought, nirvikalpakam. How can you remember me every time? The sannyasis, the sadhus, the bhakta, the devotees, they remember all these things and get this detachment. Okay. So pragya means what? Prakarshen agya. That is called pragya. Prakarshen agya. He does not know anything. That is a state of agrahanam. In Mandukya, there are two states given, agrahanam and anyatha grahanam. So here, he doesn't take something. Anyatha grahanam means he's taking something other. He's anyatha means that is not there. Actually, he's seeing something else than it is. So anyatha grahanam. So here it is agrahanam. He does not take anything at all. So someone who was Vishwa, same who had become Tejas, has become Pragya now through the identification of the causal body. It is not that some other Atma has entered into the body or Pragya. The same Atma, when he is attached or identified to the causal body, that is called Vishwa. Pragya. Okay? So here it is called Pragya. So it is Nirvikalpakam because the known difference is not there at all. Tamogun is present. The Tamogun has completely engulfed this personality. So if Vishwa and Tejas, they also don't get dissolved once in a day, they won't be bright enough. So that has to be dissolved. And that dissolves through this pragya. Through this state, when they get dissolved, then when they come back, they have that brilliancy in them. So we need sleep. Supratim. At least 7 hours. Depends
Indeed,
on
Amma.
each other. Yes. What did you say? Can you elaborate? Pragya. Yeah. Pragya is that one when we are identified to the current sharir, the causal body. And the current, what is the current sharir? We have seen all those definitions of current sharir. All those things, that it is nirvikalpakam, that has fully, it is engulfed with ignorance. The impressions are lying there. So we are forgetful of our Sat Swaroop. Then it is anirvachyam also. Why it is anirvachyam? Because it is there also and it is not there also. Because it goes away, so we cannot say it is there. But it shows us the results. That is why it is there also. So it is both. That is why it is called anirvachyam. Then anirvachyam, anadi avidya, that avidya is residing there only. So when we are completely identified to that causal body, that abhimani, that atma is called pragya. In that time, we don't know anything because it is of the nature of nirvikalpakam. There is no thoughts available at that time. That is why we don't know at that time. We don't know anything at that time because there are no thoughts there. The triputi of the Gyata, Gya and Gyan are not there at that time. No difference. There's a homogeneous thought. And it is very, very close to that ignorance. That is why we don't know anything. But the light, because there are nothing else in between, that is why the effulgence, the light of that Atma is completely enlightening. The brightness of that Atma is illuminating that that ignorance, and we are completely submerged there, and that is why we get bliss there in that state so much, because we are very, very close to that Atma. Only one thin layer of ignorance is there between us and that Atma. If we can remove that, then that is called Samadhi Avastha. That will come to it later on. In Samadhi Avastha, that layer of ignorance has been broken. It is not there. It has been destroyed. That is why that state is different, and this deep sleep state is different. Okay, so there is nothing called sleeping, dreaming, or waking. I feel I am dreaming. I feel I am sleeping. I feel I am waking. I am not. I'm not a dreamer. These are misconceptions that I am a dreamer, I am a waker, I am a sleeper. These states are going on me one by one, because I'm getting identified to these states. If I don't get identified, if I can make out myself, if I can differentiate myself from these states, then I know that these states are only superimposed on myself. These are only shown on myself. These are coming and going on myself. I have not become a dreamer. I am not a waker. I am not a sleeper. That is why the definition was there. Atma Satyam. Anya Sarvam Mithya. What was Atma? Atma Satyam. Only Atma is Satya. Other than that, Sarvam Mithya eva. Everything is Mithya only. Okay. So anybody has any other question? So this sleep is Prakritik. This sleep is Prakritik. But Samadhi is Sanskrit. We have to have sanskar of that. It is cultured. It is not natural. Something is natural, prakritik, and something is practiced, cultured through practice. So Samadhi Avastha, that is got through practice, through culture. But here it is prakritik, it is tamogun, and that one is sattvagun, Samadhi Avastha. These are two differences from both of them. Okay, so I should not say that I am a dreamer, waker, or a sleeper, but these avasthas are seen on me. These avasthas go on me. They are coming and going on me. I am not going into them. Okay, so when the causal body is anirvachyam, you all told me that that causal body is the cause of both the sharir. Okay, you only have told me that this causal body, the current sharir, is the cause of gross body also and the cause of subtle body also, isn't it? So when this causal body, you say that it is anirvachyam, that means it is not there, this false. Then when it is projecting the gross body and projecting the subtle body, those projections are also false. The gross body is projecting the whole world. That is also false. The subtle body is projecting the thought world. That is also false. But we have so much of reality in all these things. So when we are troubled by the sansar, when we are troubled by the world outside, when we are troubled by our thoughts, at that time, these thoughts should come to us to help. That why am I being troubled by the false entities that are not there at all? Causal body is not there. So the causal body is creating these two things, and it is creating the world outside also that are troublemakers for me. So they are all false. I should not be troubled because I am something different. I am apart from these two things, these three bodies. I am not the causal body. I am not the subtle body, nor I am the gross body. I am different from these three states also. Okay. So here we end our class. If anybody has any question, otherwise we will wind up. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.